took only 3 weeks for Harry's whole world to fall apart. These were the 3 hardest weeks of his life. This story is very sad because it is about a man who just wanted to be loved for who he was. Instead, he found out secrets about his wife's past that he was never supposed to know. It all began with one tiny, simple thing. It was something so small that most people would not even notice it. But this one thing changed everything Harry thought he knew about the woman he married. To understand, we have to go back to the beginning. Harry kept looking at a photo from a vacation in Croatia. It had been 3 weeks since pictures of a yacht trip appeared on the internet. Harry didn't know why, but he couldn't stop staring at them. He felt like the picture was hiding a secret. He would zoom in on the computer screen, then zoom out. He would walk away to do something else, but he always came back to look again. Then late one night, he saw it. On the deck of the big boat, pushed off to the side, was a small blue bag. It wasn't a fancy bag, it looked normal. But then Harry saw the gold letters printed on the front. It said Soho House. Harry felt like someone had dumped a bucket of ice water over his head. His stomach felt sick. This wasn't just a rich person's boat. It was a yacht for members of Soho House. That was the same fancy private club Meghan had been part of for years. It was a place where every dinner and every party was about power and business. Suddenly, a normal vacation photo didn't feel normal anymore. Harry's chest felt very tight, like he couldn't breathe properly. He knew he would not be able to sleep until he figured this out. He sat down at his computer. His fingers shook a little as he typed 3 names into the search bar: Soho House, Marcus Anderson, and Meghan Markle. Before this moment, these names never seemed strange to him, but now he was worried. When the search results popped up on the screen, Harry's blood ran cold. For a long time, Harry thought Marcus Anderson was just Meghan's fun friend from Toronto. He thought Marcus was just a nice guy who liked to go to parties. But the information on the screen told a very different story. Marcus wasn't just part of the cool crowd. He was the boss of the cool crowd. Harry read old blogs, deleted interviews, and hidden magazine articles. They all said the same thing. Marcus wasn't just a helper, he was a connector. He introduced pretty, ambitious women to rich, powerful men. He introduced actresses to movie makers. He introduced new people to important people. One article called him the man who makes sure the right people meet. Every picture showed Marcus in the middle of everything. He didn't just go to the parties, he planned them. Harry leaned back in his chair. His heart was beating very fast. He felt stupid. How had he missed this? Marcus was always around. He sat in the front row at their wedding. He was always having quiet conversations with Meghan. Harry always had a weird feeling that Marcus was nearby, watching. Now a scary thought hit him. What if Marcus wasn't just Meghan's friend? What if he was her boss or her handler? Harry clicked on another link. It was an old photo album from the party scene in Toronto. He spent the next 6 hours looking at pictures. What he saw changed everything he believed about his wife, his past, and even how they met. Harry didn't want to believe it. He hoped he was wrong. He hoped the photos and dates were just a big accident. But that hope broke when he picked up the phone. It was very late at night. The house was quiet and Meghan was asleep in the other room. Harry called someone he hadn't spoken to in years. This person knew the Soho House world really well. Harry knew this person would not lie to him. When the man answered the phone, Harry's voice was barely a whisper. "I need to ask you about Marcus Anderson," Harry said. There was a long silence on the other end of the phone. Then the man sighed. For the next 40 minutes, Harry listened to a truth he was never supposed to hear. The friend explained that Marcus Anderson didn't just run a group of friends. He ran a finishing school. This wasn't a school for good manners. It was a school for making connections. He finds women who want to be successful and famous, the friend explained. Then he trains them. He teaches them how to dress, how to talk, and how to act around powerful people without looking out of place. He brings them into Soho House and introduces them to men who can help them. He is very smart about it. Harry sat frozen in his chair. The friend kept talking. "Marcus isn't just popular," he said. "He knows everything. He knows calendars and guest lists. He knows where important people will be and when they will be there. He uses that information to create chances for his friends to meet them." Harry stared at the wall. The pieces of the puzzle were coming together. Marcus had been at horse races in 2013. He was at charity parties in 2014. He was at events in London where Harry was too. Marcus was always close, always watching, and always connected. And Meghan, she had been learning from Marcus long before Harry ever met her. Then the friend said something that made Harry's stomach drop. "Marcus doesn't just introduce people, Harry. He positions them. He puts them exactly where they need to be to trap someone." Harry felt sick. Once Harry understood what Marcus really did, another big question started to bother him. How did Meghan pay for all of this? He thought about her flights across Europe to places like London, Istanbul, Barcelona, and Miami. He thought about her expensive designer clothes and fancy outfits for every event. He thought about the cost of staying in Soho House hotels and going on yacht weeks. He thought about the hair, makeup, and styling. Harry knew how much money Meghan made from her TV show. It was good money, but it wasn't enough. It didn't add up, not even close. Harry decided to talk to someone who was still connected to Soho House in Toronto. What he learned made his hands go cold. Meghan's membership to the fancy club had been completely free. It wasn't just a discount, it was fully paid for. For 5 years, Meghan never paid a single penny for her membership. Harry asked who paid for her. The person on the phone hesitated. Finally, in a nervous voice, he said, "Marcus has ways of making sure certain women get in. There are company accounts and secret approvals. No one asks questions." Harry realized that someone had been investing in Meghan. Someone had been paying for her to become successful. Someone was funding her change from a regular TV actress into a fancy person who fit perfectly into rich people's parties. Harry grabbed a pen and paper. He started adding up the costs: flights, hotels, clothes, styling. The total hit him like a punch in the face. It was around $70,000 a year. Meghan's paycheck couldn't cover even half of that. Someone had been paying for her climb up the ladder. Once Harry saw the money trail, he couldn't unsee it. By this time, Harry felt like his whole life had been rewritten behind his back, but nothing prepared him for what happened next. One morning, he did something he hadn't done since his wedding day. He went into his office and opened a drawer. He pulled out the official guest list from their wedding. It had 600 names on it, organized by his team and Meghan's team. Harry had never really looked at Meghan's side of the list before. He had trusted her completely. But now he looked at the names with new eyes. What he found destroyed whatever trust he had left. He saw Marcus Anderson in the front row. He saw Jessica Mulroney, a regular at Soho House. He saw Misha Nano, the woman who set up their blind date, who was also a member. He saw famous people like Serena Williams, another member. Harry grabbed a highlighter pen. He started marking names. Out of the 200 guests invited by Meghan, over 60 of them were connected to Soho House. These weren't her childhood friends. They weren't people she worked with on her show. They weren't friends from Hollywood. They were her business network. They were the same people who watched her climb through the system that Marcus built. Then Harry saw a photo from the wedding reception. In the picture, Marcus was standing with 4 executives from Soho House. They were all holding glasses of champagne. They were all smiling like people who had just finished a mission. Harry realized something he wished he could forget. His wedding wasn't a celebration of love. It was a business meeting. It was a gathering of the network that built her, the same network that brought her to him. Harry wasn't sleeping anymore. He wasn't eating much, either. His days were filled with searching for answers and trying to breathe through the panic in his chest. But there was one thing he hadn't touched yet. It was something he had avoided for years: his voicemail archive. A quiet memory suddenly came back to him. His brother William had left him messages before he got engaged to Meghan. Harry had never listened to them. His hands shook as he scrolled past years of recordings and forgotten notes on his phone. Then he saw it, a message from November 2017. Harry remembered being angry and ignoring it back then. He pressed play. William's voice filled the room. He sounded calm, serious, and almost like he was begging. "Harry, you need to listen to me," William said. "Palace security ran a background check. Meghan has been part of the Soho House crowd for years. Marcus Anderson's reputation is well known. He positions women. She has been photographed with men from your world since 2014. This isn't random. Please look into this before you propose." Harry froze. He played the message again. Then he played it one more time. He realized his brother wasn't jealous. William wasn't trying to control him. He wasn't being mean about Meghan. He had real information. Harry found 2 more voicemails. In one, William said security found Meghan at events connected to Harry's charity donors. In another, he warned Harry again that Marcus had deep connections to Harry's circle of friends. Harry had deleted those messages without listening. He had been blinded by love. He was convinced that everyone was trying to ruin his happiness, but William wasn't trying to hurt him. He was trying to save him. Harry had shut the door in his brother's face. That realization broke something inside him. Harry lies awake most nights now. He stares at the ceiling in the dark. He replays every moment of the past 10 years in his head. He thinks about every smile, every coincidence, every introduction, and every conversation that felt lucky. He wonders, was any of it ever real, or was he just the final piece of a long, carefully arranged puzzle? The truth he once refused to face now whispers to him in the dark. Meghan didn't just fall into his world by accident. She climbed into it, step by step, hand in hand with Marcus Anderson. She was funded, guided, and positioned. Harry, the boy who spent his whole life wishing someone would choose him for who he was, finally understood. He hadn't been chosen. He had been targeted. And that realization is the nightmare he lives in now.